Well, a thriller to kick off our doubleheader here on Thursday night. Let's get you over now to BC as the Lions take on the Tiger Cats. Here is Farhan Malji and Glenn Suter.
Well, Glenn, plenty of entertainment in that last one. We'll see if we can match the 73 points. It's a beautiful night here in Vancouver. The roof, however, is closed. We'll get to that in a minute, but two quarterbacks here who have the chance to raise the roof on this place.
Yeah, Dane Evans coming off the first win of the season for the Hamilton Tiger Cats against Ottawa. Threw for over 300 yards in that one. He and Nathan Rourke, the only two quarterbacks in the league this year. Didn't see the final numbers from the game before us, but the only quarterbacks this year to throw for over 400 in a game.
Michael Domagala to kick for the Ticats, who finally won a week ago. They breathed a collective sigh of relief. They've got a short week to come here and try to make it 2 in a row against the BC Lions team that lost for the first time all season a couple of weeks ago against Winnipeg. Luches Purifoy deep to receive for the Lions, takes it at his own 11. Has some space on the left before being bottled up, gets across the 30-yard line where Nathan Rourke and the Lions will take over.
3-1 as a starter. This is start number 7 for the young Nathan Rourke, coming off that bye week where he got a chance to really assess and analyze exactly what went wrong and what they can improve upon in the first loss of the season for the BC Lions against the defending champion Bombers.
He's also going to have a healthy Lucky Whitehead, something he hasn't had the last 2 weeks. Lucky's been playing, but he's been far from the Lucky we're used to seeing. They actually had him take part in an entire week of practice, so look for him to have a bigger game in this one. Opening play, a fake to Butler. Rourke looking deep to Lucky Whitehead, who has it to the 30-yard line. Lucky Whitehead says, welcome back.
What a way to start. Coming off the bye, as I mentioned, to go right to Lucky Whitehead. You said, Farhan, he's healthy. He can get behind you in a hurry. Little play action fake, lots of time over the top, and great accuracy on a 43-yard gain to open this one up.
First 2 games of the year, Whitehead had 15 receptions for 197 yards. Last 2 games, just 7 for 54. They were even throwing to him deep during the week, and that showed on the first play. This time another fake, a little low on the throw to Dominic Rhymes. Manages to make the catch and pick up about 5 yards on the play. Let's take a look at the BC offense, brought to you by Expedia.
Well, the BC Lions up front, Norman Godber-Chung, have to take care of Dylan Wynn and Micah Johnson in the middle of that defensive line for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. That's why I highlighted those guys. That'll be the key if they want to get James Butler going. This is the BC Lion team that after 4 games leads the league in passing and leads the league running the football. Also the fewest sacks as you talk about that offensive line, just 3 taken by Nathan Rourke this season. Rourke looks to his right, doesn't have his receiver, checks it down to James Butler, fighting for extra yardage. He'll be close to the first down, probably a little bit short here, and an early decision for head coach Rick Campbell. We'll see how close it is. Well, it's 2 yards.
Looks like they're going for it. David Mackey checks into the game for Jacob Scarfone. And the Lions don't use a lot of extra quarterbacks in the short yardage game because Nathan Rourke is so effective on that sneak sweep he likes so much.
Yeah, he'll take it outside around the edge. Saw that in Ottawa. Big run over 50 yards there in short yardage.
Whitehead in motion. Rourke follows him. Should have enough for the first down. We'll wait for the spot.
Very, very close though. Kyle Wilson, the linebacker for Hamilton, Farhan, thought that he made the stop. He got up celebrating. You're going to bring him in. That's how close it is.
Yeah, very big early measurement here.
Well, full 2 yards. So, you know, you get around the edge here. It takes some time going horizontal and then getting upfield. It's so close.
Yeah, Wilson coming in from the backside, and it looks like that was enough. And the first turnover of the game goes to the Hamilton Ticats.
And they'll take it because they haven't been in the plus category in the giveaway takeaway very often this season. That's been a little bit of their issue. But again, Hamilton coming off of that first win of the year for them against Ottawa, and it was a similar script to the games they lost early, close games they lost early, where there were turnover issues. They are coming into this game a -11, which is last in the league, but they get the first one tonight. Good sign for Ticat fans.
Some communication issues here. The Ticats were short an offensive lineman, and Matthew Shills is the starting quarterback right now. Penalty flags on the play, and a drop by Tim White. And you have to think with that confusion, we may see a Ticat flag here.
Illegal substitution. Hamilton, number 67. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Now, once the sideline official puts his arms up, you cannot go back onto the field now. And
Dane Evans checks back into the game. Of course, Tommy Condell last week was the first guy this year to use 2 quarterbacks on the field at the same time, if we count Kai Loxley as a receiver now.
yeah. It was an interesting play in that Edmonton-Montreal game, but I think we'll see more of it as the season unfolds here.
2 plays, 2 quarterbacks, 1st and 15 after the penalty. Evans drops back to pass, and he is taken down. That is Josh Woods with the quarterback sack.
Yeah, he kind of took the long way to get there, but Josh Woods comes on the blitz, and they're coming off the edge, but when they come off the edge, he has to find his way. And watch how Woods, he kind of gets in behind Purefoy, then, okay, fine. Oh, there's the gap.
Looked like he tripped him on that play. 2nd and very long for Evans and the Ticats. Short pass to Ternowski in the right flat, well short of the first down. And the Lions get a 2 and out.
Well, that one throw, though, from Dane Evans at least gives Hamilton room to punt, takes that decision away from Coach Steinauer to give up the safety or not, because they don't get that one. They're kicking from their own end zone.
Seth Smith on to punt. Correction, make that Domagala punting. Lucky Whitehead back returning punts. 47-yard punt and a nice open field tackle. When we come back, the reigning player of the month in the CFL comes back and tries to add to his touchdown total. Suits, it feels like Wally Buono was around us, because he used to love the roof staying closed here at BC Place. Thought the crowd noise gave him an advantage, thought the humidity gave him an advantage. Now mechanical problems are keeping the roof closed tonight.
It'll get warm in here tonight.
Rourke started well on his first drive, hooks up with Lucky Whitehead again to start this second drive. Short gain on the play. Let's take a look at the Ticats D.
Yeah, Julian Hauser got a couple of sacks versus Ottawa. He leads the team with 3. Micah Johnson, surprisingly, looking for his first quarterback takedown of the year. Javon Santos-Knox tied for the league lead heading into this week with 32 defensive tackles. Kyle Wilson gets start 2 for Simone Lawrence, and Tunde Adeleke play that free safety spot.
Rourke moving around. Looks like he's going down, but we do have a penalty flag on the play. Could be against Hamilton deep down the field, but only the 4th sack of the year against the Lions if it stands.
Illegal contact on a receiver. Hamilton, number 25. This 10-yard penalty will result in first down.
Jamal Roll right in front of Coach Steinauer, right in front of the Hamilton bench. He was working on Lucky Whitehead, and the only reason it didn't turn into pass interference is because Rourke couldn't get the ball out there. Take a look at it. Hand on the waist, okay. Almost incidental. It looks like he tripped, and if he tried to trip him on purpose, then it would be called illegal contact.
Meanwhile, a first down for the Lions. James Butler with the carry, breaks the first tackle, breaks the second tackle before being brought down by Dylan Wynn and Santos Knox after possibly a loss of one, maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, this is what I meant about the matchup of the interior of the BC O-line against Micah Johnson and Dylan Wynn. If they can keep them at the line of scrimmage, then James Butler's got some room to move. And again, a BC Lion team offensively that leads the league. But you got to get those two guys out of the middle, or at least hold them there so they don't burst the bubble and force James Butler to go sideline to sideline.
Second and a little more than 10 for Rourke. Has a receiver, Lucky Whitehead, drop, interception. Wow. That is Hauser back in coverage. And he's going to get this ball across midfield. The second time in as many games, Rourke has been intercepted by a defensive end. Julian Hauser, 2 sacks last week and an interception to follow up here in Vancouver. The Ticats are in business when we come back.
Some interceptions are because of a bad throw from the quarterback, a bad decision by the quarterback, and some interceptions are because the receiver didn't hang on to the football. That was right on the 7 for Lucky Whitehead, bounced up in the air. He didn't hang on, and Hauser, who had dropped from the D-line to play back in the secondary, gets an interception.
Dane Evans knows all about that this season. Passes dropped that wind up in interceptions. Don Jackson with the carry gets a yard on the play. Now let's take a look at the Ticats offense.
Yeah, offensively up front, Chris Van Zyl, the only guy to play every game this season. It's been quite a revolving door on the offensive line, but that's close to their starting lineup with the exception of Colin Kelly. And then one of the great catches, first of all, of the year, but maybe all time, from Stephen Dunbar last week against Ottawa. Wow, it was big time.
And we'll hear from his teammates a little bit later on in the broadcast here, but for now it's 2nd and 9. Evans drops back to pass, penalty flag. Evans scrambles, has a receiver, and just misses. Manny Butler making his first start. Let's see who the penalty's against.
Offside, Hamilton, number 0. Penalty's declined. 3rd down.
Second straight 2-0 for the Ticats after a second straight turnover by the BC Lions.
Yeah, that one hurts a little bit more, though, I think, for Hamilton because of the field position. They had a chance to, one first down and they're in field goal range, get some points on the board on the road. The first one was deep in their own end. Got to get that sudden change momentum. Offense got to take advantage when they get the pick from a D lineman.
Lucky Whitehead back again, trying to make up for that last drop. Domagala shanks one off the side of his foot. Whitehead takes it inside his own 10, stumbles, gets up outside the 15, and more penalty flags on the play. When we come back, Nathan Rourke and the Lions try to finish a drive correctly. These are the 2 least penalized teams in the league, Glenn, and we've already seen 4 halfway through the first quarter here. Lions starting deep in their own end after the illegal block. Only their 3rd penalty this year on special teams.
4's good. I think 4's good. Let's cap it right there.
Absolutely. Rourke pulls the ball out, finds Keon Hatcher in the left flat, brought down by Jamal Roll after a gain of around 6.
Well, these are the only 2 quarterbacks that have thrown for over 400 yards in a game this season. Nathan Rourke and Dane Evans. 4 of the top 5 single game passing yardage numbers this year. And Nathan Rourke, you look at Dane Evans coming off that win, had over 300 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, which was the trend he wanted to bring more than anything.
Yeah, it's first interception-free game of the season. Hand up to Butler, cuts inside, close to first down yardage.
I don't know. That's going to be close. Looked like forward momentum may have got him there. But I was going to mention Nathan Rourke, 114 yards going into this week behind Zach Collaros for the league lead in passing yards. But Zach's played 2 more games than Rourke.
Yeah, 339 per game, leads the league as far as yards per game is concerned. His 12 touchdowns also leads the league by a wide margin, despite having played 2 fewer games than most, and they get the first down here. at the 17-yard line. Another handoff to Butler, looking for some room. He's got some, has a first down and more. Stiff arms it. Delicate gets to the 50 and out across midfield. James Butler.
Wow.
37 yards.
How about that dead leg move far right at the hole? Just dragging one leg to give the defense a target and then pulling it away from him. He'll take this handoff and then just that little hop and drag the right leg. The target is that for the tacklers, and then it disappears. They got nothing but air, and away he goes.
Easy way to flip the field position. Lines at their own 54, 1st and 10. Rourke drops back to pass, looks inside, has a receiver. That is Dominic Rhymes. Pickup of over 20 yards.
How about his last couple of games, even in the loss against Winnipeg, Dominic Rhymes made some unbelievable catches. Couple of touchdowns. He's going to run from that 2 spot right into the hole. Nathan Rourke throws a knife right to him like this is a laser for 22 yards.
Broken the 100-yard mark in 2 of his last 3 games. Without Brian Burnham in the lineup, he's quickly become a favorite target for Nathan Rourke, who generally likes to spread things around. This time, the quick sweep to Lucky Whitehead. Tries to get outside. Nice work by Delicate to cut him off and force him back inside.
Yeah, it really was. And Delicate, second on the team in defensive tackle, so he'll get up and get involved from that safety spot. That was just a little fly sweep to Lucky Whitehead. Get him the ball, try to get him outside. But Delicate having an all-star caliber season from the safety spot for Hamilton.
Yeah, he's got 2 All-Stars to his credit thus far. He was also the Ticats nominee for Most Outstanding Canadian a year ago, the 4th-year product out of Carleton. Second and 5 for Rourke, who has time, has a receiver, and just misses Keon Hatcher.
Almost looked like maybe the depth of the route was the issue there. It looked like Rourke was throwing to a spot. I mean, he was trying to throw it to a spot and hope that his receiver and Keon Hatcher could get there. But you know how precise it can be. I mean, if you got to make your break at 12 yards, if you go 13, timing's off, incomplete.
Sean White on to attempt a 37-yard field goal. White a perfect 6 for 6 on the season. His home coming back to the Lower Mainland, where he grew up and played junior football before being identified by the Lions. Kick is up, and it's good. The Lions with the early 3-0 lead finally get some points for their field position. Last week, the Ticats get their first win, but this is the play that still has not just Hamilton buzzing, but the entire league. Stephen Dunbar Jr. with a big-time one-handed reception, as good a catch as you will see in any league. His teammates are still talking about it.
Can't really say I'm surprised because of how hard he works. It's one of those plays, I guess, if you want me to sum it up, one of those plays that really never gets old to watch.
Luckily, I had a good sight line, and it was just amazing how he just reached out, and I just saw the ball just stop on his hand, which was pretty unreal.
And then he just reeled it all the way in, and they threw the flag. I'm like, okay, well, clearly it's not on him or anything. So, you know, he got up and did his little celebration. I was like, man, that's the best catch I've ever seen in person in my life.
Meanwhile, Evans looks to Braylon Addison. Good gain on first down.
Just a world-class play by a world-class athlete. That's what that Stephen Dunbar Jr. catch was. And I'll tell you, that is a price of admission catch. And we're seeing a ton of them. Another real exciting game just before us, right down to the wire. But that catch by Dunbar, yeah, man. I see 8. Let's see a little bit of that magic tonight.
Second and short for Dane Evans' crew. Hands off to Don Jackson. Good enough for the first down. Let's take a look at the BC Lions defense, brought to you by Expedia.
Yeah, Tim Bonner up front leads them in sacks. He's got a couple on the year. So far 11, which is sort of middle of the pack for the BC Lions. Like to get to the quarterback a little quicker. Bola combo is out. Ben Vladeck is in, the UBC grad, and in the secondary, Delvin Breaux plays against his old teammates. 4 years as a Hamilton Tiger Cat.
You know, we talk about this receiving core in Hamilton, and not just Dunbar, but Tim White, Poppy White, who's hurt right now. They took some lumps playing them as rookies last year. This time, just a nicely floated pass to Braylon Addison, who makes the catch inside, or sorry, that's Dunbar again, inside BC territory.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you know, they working together. You could say that the Lions had 2 second-year players. You got to go through some growing pains. Same with the Hamilton receiving core, but now they're stepping up and they're taking advantage of it. And boy, you get to watch that as a team. You get to watch that Dunbar catch, and you're all just going nuts thinking, why not me? And then you try to one-up each other, and it starts getting real good.
Hamilton with their deepest penetration of the game so far. They flip it up to Tim White going to the left side here. Has some blockers out in front of him before being blocked or before being taken down inside the 30.
How about this? First-round draft pick Jake Burt, which I think a lot of people in Hamilton, I know I am, are interested to keep watching him develop and how they could use him. How about blocking on the fly sweep? Number 3 coming around the edge, and watch this. You're out of there. Drives him right back. Marcus Sales right back to about 5-6 yards from where that tackle happened.
Matthew Shills in the game right now with Dane Evans, who throws it back to Shills, almost intercepted. Shills makes the catch and close to first down yardage. A little creativity dialed up by Tommy Condell.
Love it. I love it. I mean, why not? You got 2 good athletes. You got 2 guys that can run, too, in Shills and Dane Evans. Both can get up and take off and run if they don't like what they see. You're allowed this year to play 2 quarterbacks on the field at the same time. That was a little risky, but I love how this is evolving. A little bit from Edmonton last week with 2 quarterbacks. Tommy Condell getting 2 quarterbacks involved.
Condell emptying out the playbook. Has Hamilton deep into the red zone right now with a 2nd and 1. Shills into the game. He rolls out. Looking for a receiver. Has a man in the end zone, and it is incomplete. Tim White, the intended target on the play. Marcus Sales in coverage.
Yeah, that was one of the throws from Matthew Schultz to just try and get it to a spot in deep in the end zone that if his guy can't come up with a miraculous catch, Marcus Sales can't intercept it. He threw it right to that back line, basically.
And 2nd and 1, you might as well take a chance. Sure. On the road, being aggressive, being creative. This should be the final play of the quarter. Shills in on 3rd and 1. He's got White and Dunbar behind him. Empties out the backfield. He's going to try to do the wide sneak. Good enough for the first down. And that's the end of the first quarter. BC with an early lead, but Hamilton driving when we come back. It's the 2nd quarter at BC Place. Suits, if you're the Hamilton Ticats, you love this. You're finally winning the turnover battle.
Yeah, -11 coming in. That was last in the league, and now they're up +2 in that first quarter. So now the question is, can they take advantage of some of those big plays on defense and put some points on the board? Good drive going here from Matthew Schultz.
Yeah, they haven't been overly successful in the red zone so far this season, but boy, you just love a chance to have some success to finish off a drive on the road.
Yeah, and one of those interceptions you mentioned from Nathan Rourke was a defensive end in Julian Hauser. Yeah. In the Winnipeg game on their first drive, it was Jackson Jeffcoat that dropped back out of there. So the young quarterback in Nathan Rourke learning quickly that, hey, there's athleticism all over the field. Don't be surprised if a defensive end is back there dropping in coverage.
First down at the 16-yard line. Evans into the game right now. That pass knocked down. Ulysses Purifoy coming off the edge.
Get him in 2nd and long. The key now, if you're the Lions on defense, is to just give up the field goal attempt. He's coming off the edge, as you mentioned, from the right side of your screen. key on that is Matthew Betts bringing it down, bringing his pass rush down towards the tackle and guard to open up a lane for Purifoy so he can get to Dane Evans quicker.
Lions bring in their three-man front. Looks like Dane Evans is checking to a different play. Looks to his left. He's got Braylon Addison, who breaks a couple of tackles. Can he get to the first down? Looks like he's going to be a couple of yards short. Delvin Breaux, the former Ticat, there to finish him off.
Breaux lost his hat there. Can't participate when that happens, but I think he was at the bottom of the pile and really didn't have a choice. Yeah, 4 years with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. I know Coach Steinauer very proud of his sort of comeback, his time in the NFL, and Steinauer working with Breaux as a Ticat at the beginning of his journey.
2 yards to go. Looks like they're going to put the field goal unit out. And we've seen a real aggressive approach by Hamilton thus far. On that second and short, they've run the two quarterbacks in there. Are you surprised they're not going for it here? Chip shot field goal right here for Seth Smith. Sorry, Seth Small. 14-yard field goal. Kick is up, and it's good. The Ticats take the easy points to tie this game. It is BC 3, Hamilton 3 early in the second quarter. At this time, we'd like to welcome our viewers from TSN 4, 3-3 here. And don't forget that you can catch more football tomorrow night, Friday night football, the CFL on TSN. Catch the Bombers and the Elks at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, only on TSN.
You know, I usually on those decisions, as you mentioned down there on that third down, I usually wait to see how it turns out before I say it.
You're not much of a bettor. TSN Edge isn't calling you. Nathan Rourke looks to Keon Hatcher. There's contact on the play. No penalty flag.
But I do like the decision by Coach Steinauer to take the points. I mean, you're on the road. BC's up 3-0. Successful drive. Take the 3 points. Tie the game up.
Rick Campbell hanging on to that flag, waiting for word from upstairs whether or not to throw it. Campbell 2 for 3 on challenges this year, thinks against it. And Nathan Rourke and the Lions now have 2nd and 10. I thought there was contact, but I'm an offensive guy. Rourke drops back to pass. As a receiver, looks like Javon Catoy caught it, but he's still a couple of yards short of a first down. Gain of 7 on the play.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one for Rick Campbell because, you know, it looks, you know, whether you believe, it depends on the colored glasses, I think, on the last play as to what you think was interference or not, and it's so early to burn his challenge. Look at this catch, though. That's a big catch.
You ever seen Javon Catoy's hands?
Yeah.
He's got some big hands. Stephen Flintop on to punt for the first time as the Lions go 2-0 for the first time. That is Lawrence Woods back to receive. Kevin Francis, Isaiah Guzalak Messam among those to bring him down. That's not easy to do. Woods was on fire last week.
Yeah, big return to give them field position on their drive and end up coming back. Dane Evans last week, after being pulled momentarily and Matthew Schultz coming in, Schultz goes and throws an interception down near the goal line. They put Dane Evans back in, and he puts together this drive to put the Ticats in, and this is all. I mean, he had a great game. And what was interesting was that he was pulled after over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and 75% almost never happens.
Don Jackson with the carry.
I can't remember a game where a quarterback had those kind of numbers in that stat line, but had been pulled.
And his reaction after the game was pretty impressive because he said, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, there was no pushback. He just went to Matthew Schultz and tried to tell him what he saw. It was a great teammate.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it before where a quarterback gets pulled out. Just take a look, go for a series or two, but got the win. That was most important.
7 yards on that carry. Second and short now for Evans. Looks to Tim White. Ball hung up a bit. Marcus Sales right there, and White can't come down with it.
It almost looked like Dane Evans was trying a back shoulder throw here just to try and sneak it past Marcus Sales, who's in a bit of a trail position because he's up there at press. Now he doesn't get his hands on him inside that 5-yard zone. No interference there.
White did a good job of coming back to it and adjusting. Just couldn't finish the play.
Just didn't finish it. He's played well of late. Tim White.
Domagala back to punt from his own 13-yard line. Lucky Whitehead deep to receive for BC. Nice kick by Domagala, forces Whitehead back to his own 31. A 51-yard punt and great coverage by the Ticats. No room at all for Lucky Whitehead. When we return, Nathan Rourke brings the offense back out. Delvin Breaux back in the CFL for the 4th season. It feels like he's been here much longer. Quite the journey for him through the NFL and other stops before eventually coming back. With more on his story, here's Blake Price.
Yeah, count Delvin Breaux amongst the many who are surprised he's not down the sideline wearing black and gold instead of black and orange. He thought he would be a Hamilton Tiger Cat, but he's used to, hey, a stop and start kind of career. Broke his neck in high school, wiped out his entire college career, and he's played pro in 4 different leagues. After 4 seasons plus with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, he took some time off, tried to find his football self, never gave up, never closed the door, still climbed those hills and hit the gym, and then it was only BC that was able to find some room for him when the time came in CFL free agency. Guys?
Thanks, Blake. Nathan Rourke with a nice completion on first down to Keon Hatcher, moves the sticks. 18-yard gain.
Delvin Breaux's a shutdown guy, as you know. I mean, this is a guy that you can just basically put him on a receiver, and now you're playing with 11 on offense. That's the type of, he reminds me of Barry Wilburn. Remember Barry Wilburn?
Oh, yeah.
Many, many years. Long strider.
Lions going tempo now. The handoff to James Butler. Gets a first down. Fights for more. Still fighting. Down to the 40-yard line. Heck of an effort by James Butler.
Almost looks like they're coming off a bye and they're well rested and had a little jump in their step tonight. Especially number 24, because, wow, that's another big run after contact. It's 11 yards, but it felt like much more than that. Contact there, drives for another 3, 4, 5, 6, 17-yard.
Again, BC going with the no huddle. Rourke looks to the left, finds Dominic Rhymes for the completion. Brought down, Richard Leonard with the tackle on the play.
You know, the first few games watching Nathan Rourke and all the stuff that the things that he's been doing, the numbers he's put up, and this is a great throws and his running and athleticism. But, you know, the one thing I've noticed tonight is a quick release. It's almost like he's getting it out of his hands even quicker than he was in those first few starts.
Short yardage package in. Here's Rourke sweeping to his left and fits his way for a couple of yards and a first down inside the 30.
Part of that could be recognition, you know, another chance to assess that first loss against the Bombers, to go and look at the video and see where he can improve. I remember on radio right after that game and that loss against Winnipeg, he said he almost guaranteed the fans. He didn't guarantee a win in the next week. He just said, I guarantee you I'll get better. I'll be the first guy in tomorrow, and I guarantee you I'll improve.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that's impressed his head coach more than anybody else, is just that ability to continue to learn, to battle, and to not get down, whether it's in game or after a game.
Yeah, you gotta like it. I mean, whether you're listening to him in the media, his teammates love him and got his back. Jordan Maksimic, the offensive coordinator, knows his skill set. And before training camp even began, Rick Campbell said, he's our guy. And that made a difference. That makes a difference.
Short gain on the play, the quick screen to Lucky Whitehead. That brings up 2nd and 8 for BC. Rourke Rourke looks to his right. Has Lucky Whitehead and also had some luck on that play. That could have gone the other way.
Well, if he put some zip on the ball, but Jamal Roll is coming downhill here on this break. And there's been a matchup that's pretty good already in this game. Look at that. As he came out of his back pedal, he shot out of a cannon down that. But look at the speed and the tight spiral, just getting there in time from Nathan Rourke.
Roll got a piece of that. Whitehead still managed to catch it. Couple of inches short of a first down. Lions, of course, will go for it here. Whitehead in motion. Rourke fights, cuts back inside, gets the first down.
You know, I like the Hamilton secondary, though. I mean, we talk about Delvin Rowe, a former Ticats, and those Hamilton fans, they would love to have him back. But Jamal Roll, Ciante Evans, I mean, this is a great group. Tunde Adeleke in the middle. We talked about him having another all-star caliber season. And, you know, they bring in Alden Darby as well, a veteran defensive back, 5 years in the league. Ciante Evans, a cover guy on that far corner.
Bro wanted to be a part of it. He actually watched the Grey Cup on the Hamilton sideline. First down. Again, the quick pitch to Whitehead. Makes one-man miss. Well, no, he doesn't. Tunde Adeleke, for the second straight time, prevents a big play on that exact play.
Yeah, he is getting there in a hurry, and it's all about angles, not allowing a cutback lane. And this is one of the premier offensive players in the game in Lucky Whitehead. I mean, he's got a whole toolbox of tools to work with. And watch it, Tunde Adeleke stays in that back hip, trailing him. Textbook tackle out there on the sideline, limiting the game.
Sixth catch of the game for Lucky Whitehead, two of them on those quick pitches in the backfield. Ninth play of the drive into the end zone. Touchdown, BC Javon Catoy.
You're right, the ball kind of disappeared in his hands. It almost looked like Nathan Rourke was a little hesitant to throw this post over the middle, but he let it go. And Javon Catoy, he gets his second of the year.
A 15-yard touchdown, a 9-play, 76-yard drive. BC finally gets on the board. It's been a while now, 2 straight games where they didn't score in the first quarter, didn't score a touchdown in the first quarter after dominating in the first quarter in their first 3 games. Sean White on to attempt the PAT. The kick is up and good. Local boy Javon Catoy. Rourke's target here as the Lions score their first major.
Remember when Julian Hauser dropped out of the defensive line into coverage and got an interception early in the first quarter? Well, this time they drop him again, but this time it backfires because Rourke has all kinds of time to sit in that pocket. They double team up front on Micah Johnson. With that double team and Johnson contained in the middle, Hauser is dropped back in coverage. Rourke has all day to throw, and he hits Javon Catoy over the middle.
Penalty flag on the kickoff, which Lawrence Woods fields at his own 15. Has some room on the left side. Josh Woods brings him down as he crosses the 45-yard line. There's a flag on the play, which looked like it was BC offside.
Steinauer wants the options. If it's offside, it almost looked like they were signaling to try and quick decision here.
Offside, BC number 96, penalties declined. First down.
Statistically, when you look at these two teams, as well as the Lions have played on both sides of the ball, their coverage teams haven't been as good. And that's bad news when you face a guy like Lawrence Woods.
Yeah, Lawrence Woods or Lucky Whitehead.
Sure. Although Hamilton's done a pretty good job of keeping Whitehead in check to this point, at least as far as returns go. Less than 5 minutes to go for Dane Evans. Plenty of time here. Evans empties the backfield, looks to his right. A little bit of a low throw to Braylon Addison. He makes the catch. Positive yardage on first down, gain of 6.
Yeah, you get some urgency even this early in the game. There's your intended target, and Addison 4 receivers to that wide side. Just turns out, ball arrives on time.
Ticats just 1 for 6 on 2nd down so far in this game. Addison again with the reception. They get the first down this time inside BC territory.
And Delvin Breaux on that play came down inside with Tyler Tarnowski, who's playing that wide side wide receiver spot, and he was trying to direct traffic, and Dane Evans saw that the Lions were trying to figure out exactly where to be and what zones to be in. Took advantage of it and got it to Addison. Delvin Breaux down here on Dunbar. Nice matchup.
Evans looks to his right. There's pressure coming from Purifoy. Evans steps inside and completes the pass for a first down.
Did he have to change hands for a second on that hit? When Dane Evans steps up here, he gets some contact. It looked like to me live that he might have taken the ball out of his throwing arm. Let's take a look on this pass.
Yeah, he did.
He took his hands off the ball, then located it and dropped it over the middle.
Tyler Tarnowski with the reception. Gets it to BC's 37-yard line. Quick fake. And ball comes outside to Tim White. Tries to pick up a couple of blocks. Gain of about 6, maybe 7 on the play. And that's the 3-minute warning. The Ticats are knocking on the door. When we come back, they look to tie it up here at BC Place.
Coming up at the half, but I know at home what you're really wondering is who is the biggest poodle on the planet? The biggest poodle on the panel tonight is definitely Milt Stegall. That's his personal makeup artist.
Jasmine?
Personal.
It's not easy being pretty.
See, and I have it on good authority. Davis is the biggest poodle.
Best dressed. Who's the best dressed?
Good drive here. Another 2nd down conversion for Dane Evans. Braylon Addison again on the receiving end of that. Gets inside the 25.
This is a big drive. I know it's only 2nd quarter, but you know there's moments in the game where you could just lose momentum completely, and then you're down in a 2-possession hole. But even if the Ticats come away with a field goal, which is not on their minds right now, real good drive to answer the touchdown.
5th play of this drive. Addison with his 5th catch of the ball game. Hamilton first down at the BC 22 line, showing blitz. He's got a man on the right, and that's Emmanuel Butler with the reception. Diving catch for a gain of about 6.
Northern Arizona, 3-time All-Big Sky, Emmanuel Butler. Nice catch to the field because it was the recognition of the blitz that you called from the BC Lions. Not only does the quarterback have to know it, but so does the receivers.
2nd and short. That one knocked down. That is Ben Halak making his first start with the pass deflection. And that's going to force Hamilton into a field goal situation.
Big play. Boy, he tested off the charts at the combine, didn't he?
He did. I
mean, he guys runs a 4.6 for linebacker. Good speed, but bench press 29 reps at 225.
You'll like this. His last start at BC Place, 2016, playing for Vernon Secondary in the BC Provincial Championship at the AA level. They lost the game to Seacom, whose stars were Tyson and Jalen Philpott.
That's some firepower.
There you go. 23-yard kick is up and good. Seth Small closes the gap for the BC Lions. 10-6 now with just under 2 minutes to go.
For Nathan Rourke to answer at least that field goal.
Mason Bennett on the shelf for Hamilton as this drive begins. He puts Ted Laurent into the game to plug up that middle. Wouldn't you know it, James Butler has to bounce to his right. You don't want to go anywhere near Ted Laurent.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to rotate through, and Ted Laurent part of that rotation. Micah Johnson, Dylan Wynn, and Julian Hauser. We've seen how they've used him a little bit differently at times tonight already. Malik Carney also part of the rotation. Playing defensive end now. Sorry, go ahead.
2nd and 8 for BC. 4-man rush. Rourke looks deep. Has a receiver. Dominic Grimes can't hang on, and there's a flag on the play. Richard Leonard in coverage. Let's see what the call is. That's the type of catch Dominic Grimes.
Hamilton, number 23. Spot a foul, automatic first down.
Take a look at the end of the play. That's Dominic Grimes, who 2 weeks ago against Winnipeg came up with all the ones going backwards like that. Yeah, I'm not sure about that call, though. That's Richard Leonard going up. He actually looked back. I think they're going to challenge that. They don't believe that's a PI. We can go back and take one more look, but I like this challenge.
He had his hand on his chest. I don't think he pushed him. I don't think he impeded him, but when the ball was up, it looked like his left hand got on his chest. And it's so difficult, that ball slightly underthrown.
Exactly. So the hand can be on the chest, and the hand, like when you run a curl route, the hand can be on the back. You just can't twist, turn, push, or impede the receiver to the ball. So did he fall backwards on his own, or did was he pushed down? And you see that left hand shoot out from Leonard. It looked like to me he just turned to jump and play the football in the air. In fact, he looked back to it.
But because there's a little contact, is it enough to overturn?
Yeah, I don't. Again, you know, I know there's fans, especially on social media, that think I'm cheering for one team or the other.
You just cheer for DBs
when I'm making these calls, but I cheer for less penalty flags.
Yeah.
And let the professional football players, the grown men playing for their livelihood, let them decide the outcome of a play. Sometimes we're starting to see penalty flags on, you know, less contact than two NBA players fighting for a rebound. So, you know, let the guys play, let them determine the outcome. I don't know if there's, you know, I mean, you're right, though. The hand was there as Rhymes went backwards.
I think if it was a play that doesn't get called and BC tries to get the flag, they wouldn't get it the other way either. So let's see what happens here.
It just determines whether or not they think that Leonard pushed him.
It's a big call.
It is a big call.
That was 2nd down. It's a 37-yard penalty. BC has to punt if this one gets overturned.
After review by the command center, we have a reversal of that call. There is no pass interference. We have an incomplete pass, 3rd down.
Yeah, I like the play. I know the fans here don't. I like that the command center went back and looked and determined that Rhymes was not pushed. The hand was there, and the hand's allowed to be there within the rules. Rhymes dove backwards on his own and then didn't hang on to the football.
That's the first challenge of the season for Orlando Steinauer. He's been saving it. That was a big one. 1 for 1 now, Coach O. Stephen Flintoff coming into punt after that call gets changed, and Lawrence Woods back just outside his own 15-yard line. Lots of time for Hamilton here with 1:36 to go. Flintoff with a good kick, forces Woods back to his own 11-yard line. Penalty flag on the play. Woods finds some room, tries to stay in bounds before being run out at around the 35-yard line. We do have a penalty flag as mentioned, which will, let's see which way it goes here.
Again, still time. Final 3 minutes of the half, final 3 minutes of the game. Best in sport. Canadian Football League. So many changes of possession. A lot can happen. Well, you got to be thinking hard about your decisions if you're a head coach in this game in the final 3, both the half and the end of the game.
Looks like this is going to go against Hamilton, and if it does, they're deep in their own end. How aggressive do they want to be here?
During the return, holding Hamilton. 10-yard penalty, Hopkins goal, 1st down.
You know, Don Jackson, their tailback, the Ticats tailback, was sort of a last-minute decision as to whether or not he could be in the lineup. And the Ticats, I'm sure, will talk at halftime a little bit about getting the run game up. I mean, when you're two quarterbacks, not just your starting quarterback, but also your backup quarterback are your leading rushers. Doesn't provide a lot of balance in the offense. So Tommy Condell, I'm sure at halftime going, how do we get Don Jackson going here?
Jackson with the carry right here, finds some room, cuts back, close to first down yardage. Let's see where they mark it. But to your point, they haven't committed to the run game as well at this point, because they're a 71% pass team so far, which is by far the highest percentage of pass versus run in the league right now.
Yeah, and they've got a great tailback in Don Jackson. Of course, this is only start number 2 for him, and again, it was iffy because he's nicked, but they've definitely got a back that can get it done. So Tommy Condell would love to have that balance.
Little breathing room after that run for Dane Evans with a minute to play here in the second quarter. They go back to Jackson, and he is tripped up. Josh Banks, I believe, the line who was able to get a hand on him. Keeps it to a 3-yard gain.
You know, it's so good to give Dane Evans, if you can get a run game going, to get him that extra one steamboat in the pocket on play action. Ryan Phillips wants to be able to stop the run with just his 4 up front if he can.
Yeah, it certainly feels like they're trying to milk as much of this clock as they can before punting it back to BC. Let's see what the strategy is here. They don't seem to be in a hurry. Another handoff inside. That time, Braylon Addison, the ball carrier. Addison with some room, bounces to his left, gets out of bounds before trying a stiff arm against Sales. 28 seconds to go, and now you might be thinking differently.
Yeah, and your run game doesn't have to come from your tailback. We've seen Lucky Whitehead on a couple of fly sweeps for the BC Lions, and now Braylon Addison. Nice 21-yard gain as he bounces outside of Delvin Breaux, and a little stiff arm at the end of that.
Addison did make some carries from the backfield when he was a collegiate player at Oregon. So running between the tackles is not entirely new for him. Sean Thomas Erlington into the backfield now. And Erlington is the receiver at the 50-yard line. Nice throw by Evans. Lots of time left to get into field goal range for Hamilton.
Love this throw, love the catch from Sean Thomas Erlington, but he was surrounded, and getting up cost him 4 seconds. I don't know if that 4 seconds are going to be valuable, but he lines up in that slot back position. Nice catch, nice throw, all of it. Now he gets up, and that cost him 4 seconds.
Evans looks to his left, doesn't find anybody, tries to scramble. BC players all over him. Boom, watch him with the high tackle, and lots of laundry comes out.
Boy, it's good to see Dane Evans get up from that. You know, he's a runner, and he's out. He doesn't have the same protection as he does in the pocket, but this can be unnecessary roughness, major foul.
BC number 98, high tackle. 15-yard at the end of the play, automatic first down.
Because you can't do this on tailbacks either. But it's good to see Dane Evans get up, because it looked like the way he went down on that knee and then twisted backwards. Boy, that was awkward.
Yeah, when he got pulled back, that was certainly a dangerous moment right there. Good for Evans that he's able to bounce back up. 8 seconds now remaining. We'll see if they try to get aggressive here or if they just want to milk a few more seconds. Evans slides to his left, puts the ball between the hash marks, and turns it over to Seth Small.
I think the other win here for Dane Evans is in some of those runs that we just saw where he got tackled out of the pocket, he's coughed it up a couple times, and throughout this season. And I think that having that hit and hanging on to the ball, getting a chance for extra points here, going down by down 1 point at halftime on the road, a little momentum going in at halftime for the Ticats.
41-yard field goal attempt for Smalls. The kick is up, and it is wide. Lucky Whitehead is going to bring it out. Saves the point out at the 2-yard line, and the Lions escape. At the end of the first half, it is BC 10, Hamilton 6. Second half coming up. Let's send it to the panel. Here's Kate Burness.
And alongside the panel, it is Davis Sanchez, Matt Dunnigan, and Milt Stiegel, and we ourselves a 4-point football game. Matt, I will begin with you. I know the focus coming in, as always, Nathan Rourke, and he had a bye week. We were excited to see him again. He, as expected, is playing well in that first half. Some ups and downs, obviously, the INT, but overall, Dane Evans, too. He's been impressive a lot in that first half.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Dane Evans, too, right? Coming off a big win last week, last second, just willed his team to a win after being pulled. Well, he's showing why. He's the star of this football team. He's been on point. He's 12 of 16, 119 yards in the first half. Let's take a look at Rourke. Rourke here, he hesitates here on this throw across the middle of Katoy because of the goalpost. To me, that's poise in the pocket, understand where you're at, and that's playing way beyond your years. Incredible, incredible pocket presence there. And Dane Evans just slinging the ball all over the yard with a lot of confidence, with timing. Both these quarterbacks got big-time arms. They're making all kinds of throws here in the first half, guys. And defenses, you know, are doing a decent job of corralling them, keeping them out of the end zone. But it's fun to watch these two, and it seems like it's been forever we've watching this young kid, Nathan Rourke, play football. But it's good to see him back on a football field in front of a decent crowd there at BC Place, and Dane Evans is going toe-to-toe with him right now.
Reminded me why I liked Dane last year so much. Like you said, he got pulled last week. You don't get to this level as a quarterback unless you have some serious resolve. He showed that at the end of last week, and then again tonight he came off firing the ball. Defensively, I don't know who this Ticats team is, because this is not a 1-4 team. You have, you know, the interior D-line these guys have, and they have Julian Howitzer. He's their best pass rusher, and now he's back there picking off passes. and their secondary guys, and Suits talked about it during the game on the broadcast. And that back end of Roll and Darby, Adeleke, Ciante Evans and Leonard, playmakers. If you have a group of 5 across that understand coverage, plus they're playmakers, you have a pretty good combination. But this doesn't look like a 1-4 team.
No. And you talked about the quarterbacks, Matt, and the quarterback's best friend is a running game. And Nathan Rourke, of course, has been the MOP of this team and possibly of the season, of the year, but he's had a great running game. When he's played well, that means James Butler is playing well. You look at the last time they played against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, he struggled a little bit. James Butler struggled, only 8 carries for 33 yards. So far this first half, Nathan Rourke is playing well. James Butler is playing well. 5 carries for 60 yards. It not only helps the quarterback out, but it's the offensive line. Because without your offensive line, your quarterback and running back's not doing anything. If that offensive line knows every single time they're dropping back and throwing the ball, that puts so much pressure on them. But if they know there's going to be some times where they can just come off the ball and hit those defensive linemen or linebackers, it takes so much pressure off.
You got Jordan McSimic, and you've got Tommy Condell, 2 offensive coordinators showing some imagination out there. A little throwback to Schultz from Dane Evans, right?
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice.
And I really believe that the creativity and the balance that Jordan McSimic is calling the game to give that offensive line an opportunity. That touchdown pass to Katoy, Nathan Rourke stood back there, double clutched it, and had climbed the pocket and still had plenty of room to follow through without any worries about anybody hitting his hand. So to me, that's offensive line play as well going here in the first half.
All right, we had ourselves a great first game between Ottawa and Montreal. This one shaping up to be a good one as well. Currently a 4-point game. Coming up after the break, we paid tribute to Doug Mitchell.
Starting to feel like you don't need me. Wanna believe it's all for the better.
Well, some sad news to pass along as Doug Mitchell has passed away. A giant in the Canadian athletics scene. Overall, Doug was a part of nearly every aspect of the CFL, as he was a player, owner, executive, and of course the commissioner back in the 80s. And his latest honor came back in June when he was enshrined into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. There is no doubt he has left an everlasting mark on this game. This statement was released today by the Commissioner, Randy Ambrosie. I am beyond saddened by the passing of Doug. His incredible passion for Canadian football inspired players, coaches, and executives to further his dream of building character and uniting our country through our great game. When he was welcomed in the Canadian Football Hall of Fame just last month, he and I spoke about the topics dearest to him, family and football. It was my honor and privilege to join in the occasion and for us to recognize all that he has done for our league and what he will always mean to our sport. So, Matt, I know you had some special moments with Doug, and I think we all look back at the 1987 Grey Cup, and we see the two of you there together, but just a man who meant so much to the CFL.
Yeah, Kate, and Doug actually took time out of his law practice for 5 years to be the commissioner for the Canadian Football League. We needed some help and some direction, and he obviously presented that cup to us. And, you know, I'd like to share this with you as well. As the cup sits today, Doug commissioned the design of 34 inches where you can see all the nameplates and all the greats in the history of our game etched on the cup. And Doug gave us just one lasting impression that still stays with us, and that's the Grey Cup itself. And he's an icon within sports across this country. He will be missed.
Legendary, to say the least, and our deepest condolences go out to the Mitchell family. All right, from slow songs to rock. Ches, 4-point game. What do you got?
This Hamilton the first half from Hamilton looks more like the team many thought would represent the East in the Grey Cup, possibly. Dane Evans, great bounce back. He looked good in the first half. 12 of 16, 75% completion percentage. And across the country against the Lions in BC Place, not easy, only down 4 at the half.
Here is Blake Price with Javon Cotoy.
Javon, you got the second half lead here. We'll get to your score in just a second, but is this a totally different game if you guys score on that opening drive?
Huge game, huge game. We come out the gate firing, you know, on all cylinders, but right now we got to clean up a couple of mistakes and make sure we win the second half.
You do ultimately get a couple grabs yourself, and you score the opening touchdown of the game as well. Important to at least have some of that success to hang your hat on?
Yes, yes, yes. Of course, success in the first half is always crucial, but like I said, second half, it comes down to like the fourth quarter and making sure we're on top of our game come the second half.
How's the heat down here?
Tired.
Thanks for this.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You know that if you've been in BC Place with the roof closed, it gets a little toasty down there, but the BC Lions still doing well, currently up by 4. Back to Vancouver right after this.
Welcome back to BC Place. The Lions with a 4-point lead heading into the third quarter. Braylon Addison is always a big part of the Hamilton offense, I should say. Here he is with Blake Price.
Anybody's ball game right now, Braylon. What did you think of that first half?
I thought we did some things well, some things to correct, and we're just trying to finish.
You're very active in the offense right now. Is it this close to breaking through?
Yeah, we just want to keep perfecting, keep on the same process, trying to keep chipping away at it, and hopefully we can play well enough to come out with a win.
Thanks for this.
Yep, thank you.
Addison with 61 yards on 6 touches, had the one carry out of the backfield as well.
Well, the panel talked about it. We talked about it at the end of the half, the running game and the difference. James Butler off to a good start running the ball in the first half. He's at 60 yards there, and Dane Evans got a little run out of Don Jackson and Braylon Addison at the end of the first half. We'll see if they get the ball first here, so we'll see if they go back to that run to start the second.
The second half hasn't been kind to Hamilton. They've been outscored 96-32 so far this season, including 30-6 in the third quarter. Stephen Flintoff getting set to kick it off for BC from his own 30. The always dangerous Lawrence Woods back for Hamilton. Woods takes it at his own 14. Out across the 30, makes one man miss before being brought down by a couple of Lions at the 34-yard line. Kevin Francis with the tackle.
Good first half for Dane Evans. He was slinging a couple of real good drives. 12 of 16, 119 yards passing for Dane Evans in the first half. Did not throw an interception. Still looking for his first touchdown. He started 5 of 8 and finished 7 of 8. So he got hot as the first half went on.
Strong final drive to put them in field goal range when they started inside their own 10-yard line. Now he's got the ball at his own 34. Handoff inside to Don Jackson. Ben Hladek there to make the tackle, not after a gain of 6 yards.
Well, I think they probably looked at some tablet work and in the halftime break, and they said, you know, we're opening up some holes here on the offensive line. Alex Fontana, the center, gets on the second level to the linebacker. That's a nice pocket for Don Jackson.
Second and 4. Lions showing blitz. Haladic does come. Evans able to escape. Looks like he's going to get the first down and slides close to the 50-yard line.
Yeah, he knew two things. One, he felt the pressure. Pressure was coming from the Lions. He looked to his hot route. When the hot route wasn't available, that's when he decided to tuck and run.
When the middle linebacker blitzes, there's always going to be a hole in the middle of the defense.
Run where they just left.
First down at the 47. Addison, the ball carrier, breaks a tackle before being brought down by Haladic after a gain of a couple.
Yeah, Boomguachum reset the line of scrimmage in the backfield there, and that's why he forced Addison to dance 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
We saw Paul Lapolis do this a lot with Mick Dembski in the backfield with Winnipeg, and you're seeing more and more teams go to that, where they take a receiver and try to find other ways to get him the ball. Second and 8. Looks like Evans is changing the play here. Evans drops back. BC has some pressure. Nice catch over the middle. Stephen Dunbar with the grab before being brought down by Jordan Williams, and a first down across midfield.
I like Dane Evans' pocket awareness tonight. I mean, when he feels the pressure, he's making good decisions on the fly, getting it out of there quickly. That one he had a guy in his face. It happened pretty quick, so he just found his relief target is over the middle. Dunbar for the first.
This time, Tim White on the jet sweep. Picks up a few yards, fumbles the ball. Looks like BC has it. Lucas Purifoy appears to have the recovery at the BC 46-yard line, and a break for the Lions, their first turnover of the ball game.
Yeah, that definitely came out. I don't think Tim White was down by contact. Every turnover is reviewed, and they'll be looking at it right now, but it looked in real time live that ball was out well before. Almost looked like he was juggling it before he took the hit.
Quincy Moget coming up from his free safety spot to make that tackle. Knocks the ball loose. Purifoy right there for the recovery. Lions take over at their own 46. Rourke gives to James Butler. He's got some room. Still on his feet. Continues to break tackles. Brought down after a gain of 9 yards right at midfield.
It's fun to watch tonight. James Butler. You gotta love the second, third, fourth efforts coming from number 24. I mean, he is not going down on first contact. Inside run, eyes up, vision.
Rourke straight up the middle for the easy first down. And we've seen just the fight in James Butler. I talked to Joel Figueroa earlier this season, BC's left tackle, and he just talked about how much they love blocking for this guy.
Well, it inspires you. I mean, and like Milt said at halftime, the offensive line loves it because they can drive off and be the hammer and block for Butler up front. So they're not in pass pro every single play.
60 yards in the first half for Butler. BC across midfield to the 52. Butler with the carry again. Picks up a block. But tackled on the play. Jovan Santos Knox.
James Butler in the first half, 5 for 60 yards in the first half. And it was that second effort that was so impressive. Great cutback here. But that first tackler is just not bringing him down tonight. Well, on most nights, but tonight he seems like he's got a real jump in his step and getting the extra 3, 4, 5 yards on every carry.
Well, as we said earlier, the entire run game, quarterback and running back, was dormant against Winnipeg a couple of weeks ago, so I think they've got some pent-up frustration here. Hamilton showing blitz. The pass to Catoy, a little behind him, but he adjusts well to make the catch in traffic, close to first down yardage.
Well, I couldn't agree more with David Sanchez at halftime talking about this Hamilton secondary. I mean, they've got playmakers back there that can make plays on these blitzes. That's Alton Darby, who breaks on that quick throw. He knows when they're sending pressure, it's the hot route. Nathan Rourke will throw it immediately on that first cut, and he was very close.
BC going for it on 3rd and 1. You'll recall the first drive. Oh, Stefan Flintoff coming in to punt with a yard to go. Looks like there's some confusion here. Play clock has yet to start. Sean White now in to attempt a 50-yard field goal.
I was going to say, I don't think Rick Campbell was going to decide to punt when they've gone on 3rd and short before. Remember in the first one, they didn't get it. It was 3rd and 2.
And a trick play. David Mackey comes up from the wingback spot under center, takes the snap, fights for 3 yards, and gets the first down.
So there you go. We all got pulled in. We all got pulled into a little bit of drama there, a little bit of theater going on. Let's put the field goal, and they delayed it to help sell it. You know, delay the whole decision, get the field goal team out there a little bit late, get them lined up, and then no, we're not doing that. We're going to try and go for it.
So you're saying the confusion was practiced?
They practiced the confusion.
Another good drive being orchestrated by the Lions offense at the 40-yard line now. 6th play of the drive coming up. BC hands it off.
There you go. See, that's how you stop a run game. That's how you stop a run game with Micah Johnson. And it's almost like he was just going, okay, enough. That's enough. Let's get to 24 before he gets ahead of Steve. I mean, look at this, right over Peter Godber, and watch the move up front. Just sink in there, swim move, and nowhere to go for James Butler. Get him before he gets started.
Loss of 3 on the play. Micah Johnson's still looking for his first sack, but he's still making plays like that.
Just as big right there. That's a loss, yeah.
2nd and 13 for BC. Rourke checks it out of the backfield. James Butler, he's got some room. Butler with a first down inside the 30-yard line.
What a great play by, first of all, Nathan Rourke falling away and running out of time. He could tell that pocket was disappearing, and he found his check down guy who's actually going to get out of the backfield, come across, and just as the pocket started to break down, he dumps it off to him, and 24 does the rest.
Needed 13, got 15, and that's what Jordan McSimic has talked about. He'll take whatever the play gives. He's not going to force the 13 yards. He'll let his guys do the work. Now to Butler again, and a nice play by Kyle Wilson.
James Butler for the receiver.
Saw that all the way.
Yeah, well, you know, here's what happens when you have a guy doing as much damage as James Butler. You say, well, I'm going to lock in on this guy. I'm just going to, wherever he goes, I go. And he steps outside. He sees 24 get out and release into the backfield, almost like a quick screen. And Wilson tracks that down.
Lions converted on 2nd and 13, 2nd and 14 here. 9th play of the drive. High snap, Rourke pulls it down, has time, steps up into the pocket, goes deep, has Lucky Whitehead, touchdown BC! Nathan Rourke to Lucky Whitehead, his first touchdown of the season.
The play took so long to develop that Lucky Whitehead ends up open. Tunde Adeleke is going to come up to the line of scrimmage almost like he's concerned with any checkdown or a delayed blitz, so there's no safety back there to help. Lucky Whitehead opens up along the sideline there, and then it was just a matter of was the ball going to get there in time.
9 plays, 65 yards. They convert on 2nd and 13 and a touchdown on 2nd and 14. That's going to hurt if you're Hamilton's defense right now.
Yeah, especially after a couple of the first down plays they made, like Micah Johnson with the big loss. And that last play where they're, as you mentioned, 2nd and 13. And Mark Washington going, well, success on first down, and they converted anyway.
Lucky Whitehead had a few things to say as he went by the Hamilton bench. Rick Campbell raced down to pull him away before too much happened. Sean White, perfect on field goals and converts this season, gives the Lions a 17-6 lead. Lucky Whitehead started the game with a big play. Third quarter, a huge touchdown puts the Lions up 11. You know, it's been a thing this year, watching Lucky Whitehead show up to the game, whether it's on a scooter, whether it's with a dog, whatever it is, there's always an entertaining way. He waited until he got here to make the statement this time. Lawrence Woods takes the Stephen Flintoff kickoff and gets tackled at the 40-yard line, and penalty flags on the play. When we come back, we will sort it all out. Lucky Whitehead knows how to celebrate. He puts the Lions up 11.
Let's go back to the touchdown. Here's Lucky Whitehead right here, and Mark Washington, the defensive coordinator for the Ticats, really mixing things up. He takes his linebacker, Cam Kelly, who's basically a tweener, can play DB, but right here you see he's in good position on the deep ball, but as Rourke extends the play, he drifts away from Lucky Whitehead, loses him for just a split second. That gives time for Nathan Rourke to get it there.
BC with a 15-yard penalty on the kickoff. Evans swings it out to Don Jackson, makes a couple men miss, gets close to first down yardage before Mauger makes the tackle.
Yeah, that was after the fact. This is the opening or the kickoff after the touchdown, and BC Lion 15-yard penalty for dangerous hit, well out of bounds.
Omar Fort, the guilty line, playing in his first game, not the way you want to make an impression. Don Jackson with a gain of 8 makes it 2nd and 2 at the BC 46. Handoff to Jackson again, breaks the tackle. Can he get the first down? Bro makes the tackle. I think he's short. I don't know how he got out of the first one.
Yeah, it was. It was that second effort again. He's taking the lead from James Butler for the Lions and saying, give me the rock and let me show you what I can do. Violent runner when he gets going. Close to 1,000 yards a couple years back with the Calgary Stampeders, just shy of 1,000 as a matter of fact. And
Miles Fox, the first Lion to miss. Evans here, a couple inches to go, should have it for the first down. Important drive for Hamilton here.
Yeah, no question. Just like that after the last touchdown that second quarter to Javon Catoy, Dane Evans drove the field, got a field goal out of it, and it was still that one possession game. So Tommy Condell knows, got to come away with points here to answer.
Yeah, even a field goal makes it a one-score game. That would matter a lot at this stage.
Exactly. Keep it one possession, especially when you're on the road. Keep it one possession deep into the game and steal it in the fourth.
Evans, 1st and 10. This time the fake to Erlington. Pump fakes, looks deep. Can't find Addison down the right sideline. Luchez Purifoy in coverage.
What great coverage by Purifoy. Again, he's their Cam Kelly type of player, but he got in a man-to-man situation on one of the best slot backs in the game in Braylon Addison, and wasn't fooled. Addison tried to look like he was stock blocking him down the field, and then he took off down the sideline, but Luchez Purifoy said no,
Purifoy in his second stint with the Lions broke into the league with BC, played a couple of seasons here before moving on to Ottawa and Saskatchewan. The Ticats 6 for 13 on second down. Addison with the reception, breaks the tackle. Does he have enough for the first down? Stretches out through contact. Suits, I think he's got it.
I think he's got it. What a great move. You see this happen quite often where they run that play. That's one that Brian Phillips is going, hey, I drew up the right defense. If we make the tackle, we're off the field. But this is a great individual effort by Addison. I mean, that little fake to spin outside and get 9 yards and get right to the marker, get the first. And the defensive coordinator says, well, drew it up. Right call, right defense.
Marcus Sales led the Lions with 10 tackles last week against Winnipeg. Not always a good sign because it means they're going after you. Meanwhile, touchdown, Stephen Dunbar Jr.
We're just getting to the end of the third. I'm going to just say it at this point in the game. This is Dane Evans' best game of the season. That throw, dropping it on the deep road after the pump fake, kind of fading away and leaning away from it. Picture perfect throw over the shoulder of Dunbar. Wow.
Delvin Breaux in coverage on the play. Looks like Hamilton's going for 2. Now, when Breaux was in Hamilton, he never played with Dunbar, but the two of them did spend time training together in New Orleans this offseason. So maybe Dunbar learned a few more of Breaux's tricks than the other way around so far. Trying to move to within a field goal here. Evans with the quick throw off the hands. That's Tim White. Marcus Sales in coverage right there on the corner route. And BC stays up by 5 points. But a big-time response by Hamilton to get this game to within a score. 2.5 minutes to go in the third when we come back.
Stephen Dunbar with one of the great catches you'll ever see last week in the win for Hamilton. This is one of the best routes you'll ever see from Stephen Dunbar on a great cover guy in Delvin Breaux. Inside move stem, and then that hard fake inside to freeze Delvin Breaux and get to that corner.
Lucas Purifoy takes it in his own 11. Looks for some room on the left. Stopped early. A 6-play, 54-yard drive for the Ticats. We'll see if BC can respond. Well, Nathan Rourke's done a great job of spreading the ball around. One guy he would like to get it to is Brian Burnham. Could be back sooner than you might expect. Here he is with Blake Price.
Brian, as much as I'd like to do this every 2 weeks with you, I'm sure you'd rather not. How close are you?
A couple weeks away. I'm feeling really good. I'm running around, catching the ball. So moving's not the issue. It's just about, impact.
So not next week, you don't think?
We'll see. Yet to be determined.
Is it a case where when you come back, you want to make sure that it's 100% you're ready for your regular targets?
For sure. I mean, to be honest, you're never 100% during the football season, but this is something you want to make sure, isn't going to linger throughout the whole season. The lung isn't something I really want to mess around with, so we'll be smart, but we'll be back soon.
Thanks for this.
No problem.
Now, he told me a few weeks ago he wanted to play in that Saskatchewan game. Looks like cooler heads might prevail, and it might be a couple of weeks, but certainly a welcome addition when BC does get him back. James Butler with the carry, has to cut back inside right to Ted Laurent.
Yeah, I agree, and we've always said this, that right when an injured player feels like he's ready to return, give him one more week, and then it takes away that sort of uncertainty psychologically that you're just still not quite sure, and you don't want to mess around with ribs either. But I'll tell you what, there's such a buzz in this city about this BC Lion team. You go through the grocery store, I don't know, I've had a dozen questions in the last 2 days. When's Burnham coming back? When's Burnham coming? Are we going to get Brian Burnham back?
Yeah, it certainly has some star power in this city. Nathan Rourke on 2nd and 11 finds Lucky Whitehead, and Lucky catches it in traffic. He's now over 100 yards on the day and gives BC a first down.
Well, he started with that great deep post pattern down the middle, and this time he's running the timing out. And think about it now. Keon Hatcher has had a pretty good season already. He's been working in tandem with Lucky Whitehead, but that's where Burnham usually plays. He plays beside Whitehead. Look at that. His teammate loves it from the sideline.
Quick pass to Dominic Rhymes, who's been quiet for about a quarter now, but certainly got a lot of action earlier in the game. Gets BC 6 yards on first down.
Interesting to see how Mark Washington tries to change this momentum. They need to play right now. Got their offense going.
Julian Hauser lined up at linebacker and came. Rourke looking for Keon Hatcher. Not sure they were quite on the same page. He threw it outside. Hatcher looked inside, and BC will punt.
Yeah, I think Hatcher got all tied up with Keontae Evans, and he was just trying to figure out how to get the edge on Evans, and the ball had already left Nathan Rourke's hands.
Hatcher, the player that's moved into Burnham's spot during that injury.
Right.
Rob Scarfone playing outside where Hatcher had played previously. Flintoff to punt. Woods takes it at his own 21. Fights for a few extra yards before being brought down.
Who are you going with?
Well, I'm going with Milch if there's any sort of fitness element involved.
I'm going with Maddie because it looked like there's some strength needed in there too.
And that's got the fearless factor.
Good point.
Whistles on the play as Don Jackson doing some dancing. Looks like a procedure call.
And we better say procedure. So they're all okay.
Hamilton, number 67, 5-yard penalty.
The truck wanted Davis Sanchez. They took Sanchez. So I got Maddie, you got Milt. Sanchez, the truck's got. So that would be the competition.
I got to go back and do the panel in a couple of weeks. So I think Matt and Davis won't be happy with me. It's a tough group. It's a tough trio to kind of control, as I found out last week. When Kate's not there minding the storm.
Who takes Kate though? You're going to take Kate in that competition. She might beat them all.
Yeah, I can see that. Evans back to pass on 1st and 15. Looking to the sideline for Dunbar. Ball sails out of bounds. No flags on the play. There was some contact. And that's the quarter. It should be a fantastic finish. A one-score game with 15 minutes to go. BC 17, Hamilton 12, the fourth quarter when we come back. Plenty of balance here when you look at the stats, Glenn. For the Ticats, you've got to be happy with your run game. They've made a real commitment to that in the last 2 weeks. But overall, it looks like we're setting up for a pretty good finish.
Yeah, based on, look at the balance, look at the numbers. They're all balanced out. The turnovers are getting close here at 2-1. Ticats got those 2 early turnovers. The run game, a big part of BC's offense all year, but not so much Hamilton, and they've got the 90 yards already, and that's closing in on a season high.
Yeah, and now the one number that everyone's going to look at right now if you're in Hamilton is, can they keep the turnovers at 1?
Well, yeah, and you know, we got this balance in the numbers. Both quarterbacks slinging it and looking good. The running game's involved. It's like, who makes the final play? Which we keep seeing in the Canadian Football League this year, down to the wire, just like the game before us.
15 of 23 games, Glenn, have been decided in the last 3 minutes. Wouldn't be surprised if that happened here. Butler with the reception.
You know, that win against Ottawa validates the process, because you look at just the second half and the struggles for Hamilton leading into this game. But they got the validation. It was a similar script against Ottawa, but they won it. And that just sort of stamps the team and says, hey, everything we've been doing is working. We lost a few close ones early, but stick with it. We get the win much more confident tonight.
Domagala with the kick. Lucky Whitehead struggling to recover it. There's a penalty flag on the play. Let's see who recovers it. Looks like they're going to call no yards. And it's hard to say whether Whitehead touched it the first time, because that would take the no yards away.
Exactly.
Big thing for field position here.
Because I was thinking that it would have had to. That's exactly what Rick Campbell wants to know. And they're talking in real time with the command center. Al Bradbury, our head official tonight. But that's the question, Farhan. Like, did he touch it when the ball first hit the turf and went through his legs? If he touched it there.
This is where the eye in the sky comes in handy and has turned into a really valuable tool this season.
Well, let's take a look.
No yards, Hamilton, number 37, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, might have hit his heel there.
His right heel. Yeah, I think so. But Lions are getting the call right here. Is it worth challenging that, or can you even challenge that? Orlando Steinauer is challenging it indeed. The field position is so important in this game.
Yeah, I mean, it is a game of real estate. You're right. And field position. But that's
Hamilton is challenging the previous call of no yards, feeling the ball was touched before. We'll review.
And that's what he can win. That's what Coach Steinauer could win with the challenge, is that 15 yards and no yards.
Here's another look. We'll have the verdict when we come back. A big call coming up. In this situation, this is your last challenge, whether you win or lose. Is it worth taking?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's worth the 15 yards. I mean, I get the idea that Coach Steinauer is thinking, if you win the challenge, you get the 15 yards back, you get a 2-and-out, and you possibly force the Lions to give up a safety.
After review by the command center, the ruling on the field stands. Hamilton is charged a timeout. First down.
But the command center saw what we saw, which was the ball hitting his heel. Therefore, there was no yards penalty. And now you lose your timeout in the fourth quarter in a one-possession game.
Yeah, it sure looked like it hit his heel, which would have taken the no yards away, but that's not how they saw it. Fake to James Butler. Looking over the middle, he pulls it down, trying to get away, and he is brought down. Dylan Wynn with the sack.
Yeah, that's a good point. Looked like it hit his heel. They ruled it didn't. Steinauer loses his timeout and the challenge. So, but that sack, you know, puts him right back in a similar situation. I mean, not that they're going to be at risk of a safety here.
Dylan Wynn with his first sack of the season, 26th of his career. 3 All-Stars in the last 4 seasons for Wynn. Certainly a fixture on the interior of that Ticats defensive line. Second and very long for Nathan Rourke. Looks like he's going to have to check it down to James Butler. Cuts back inside, trying to get away from Santos Knox and all the traffic. Gets a good gain, but not enough for the first down thanks to that sack. Gain of 14 to the 30, but BC is going to have to punt here.
Well, basically, you know, the defense for Hamilton bails out their coach in a, I don't know, questionable challenge. When you're challenging for 15 yards of field position with the risk of possibly losing it. Now, this is worse news. Deontay Evans slow to get up, but the defense comes up big and they get the ball back.
Lawrence Woods is a busy guy. He covers kicks, returns kicks, and may have to go in a corner if Evans has got to sit out a few snaps here. Meanwhile, it's a third 2-and-out for the Lions, who haven't had many this season.
Late in the game against Ottawa, Woods had that big return.
And he blew his tire.
Yeah, well, he was running so fast his feet couldn't keep up. A problem I never had in 11 years of football.
That makes it easier being slow. You don't have to worry about those moments of freedom.
Exactly.
Evans runs off on his own power. Looks to be okay.
Yeah, that's good. Sit out 3 plays, but the offense coming out, so should be good.
Stefan Flintoff back to kick. Woods fields it at his own 32. BC has him collared. Kevin Francis with the tackle. 48-yard kick there.
Dane Evans may not get to the 350 plus or the 400 mark where he's hit this season, but 17 to 24, the 1 touchdown, and has stayed away. And I'm going to knock on wood so Hamilton fans don't think I'm jinxing him. Has stayed away from the interception.
And the fumble.
And the fumble. You got to knock on wood too.
Oh yeah, I'm doing that right now. Quick handoff and a tackle in the backfield. That is Luchez Purifoy.
Making some plays. Purifoy in great coverage. It's great great to have a guy that's like the Swiss Army knife, can do so many things well. Blitz the quarterback, stop the run, cover down the field on Braylon Addison, no less.
It's been a perfect fit at that Sam linebacker spot for BC.
Yeah, he has. And, you know, I know for a fact that the Riders hated losing him.
Lions showing pressure. They bring it. Tim White with the catch. Can Sales get him down? He's got him. A yard short of the first down.
Hanging on.
Thought he was going to break free.
Yeah, it was like trying to hog tie cattle out there. Just White battling to get to that marker, and Marcus Sales just holding on to try and limit it. 1 yard to go here.
Big gamble here on 3rd and 1. Matthew Shills into the game. Shills goes left. And does he have it? This is going to be as close as that first one, Suits.
Oh, boy, it's all where he puts his foot.
Looking at the spot. I don't know.
Man, that is going to be close. That's got to measure it.
I think he needed to get past the BC 54.
I think Steinauer right now is like lining up a putt. He is down there going, okay, it breaks a little bit to the left. Tell me it breaks an inch to the left.
This is as close as that first one was. Didn't get it. 3 or 4 inches short. BC gets some payback with their 3rd down stop. Wow. A big gamble and a big stop for BC as they look to add to their lead when we return. Ben Hladek working on his psych degree at UBC, trying to finish that up. I think he gave Hamilton something to think about there. He and Jordan Williams on the play. And now it is James Butler up and over, and a 6-yard gain for the Lions running back.
Yeah, when you bench press 225 29 times, you have the strength and short yardage to step up. Just watch to the left of your screen as Ben Hladek comes off the edge, wraps up Matthew Schultz, and drives him back, holding him a few inches short. And this is the last hit. These guys are starting to, they know it's on the line now.
Butler with 75 rushing yards, brings up a 2nd and 4. Rourke drops back, looks to the left, and runs Keon Hatcher out of bounds. That is incomplete, and BC will have to punt their 4th 2-0 at a time when you knew they wanted some points here. The last turnover led to 7 BC points. Hamilton hasn't had any points off BC's 2 turnovers.
Yeah, so that third down stop by the Lions really turns into a field position. They get the field position back with this punt, but can't capitalize on the turnover on downs with points.
Flintoff to punt again. Angles it to the right side. Pretty well-placed kick here. Keeps it away from Woods and goes out of bounds just outside the 10-yard line.
Great kick. Great kick. Because remember, the rule change now, too. It's a penalty if it's not inside the 15-yard line. It used to be the 20. But that's exactly what you want on your punter. Pin them deep, inside their own 10-yard line. Let the defense do the rest of the work.
Flintoff took one of those penalties in the game against Winnipeg. This is his first kick inside the 10 this season.
A lot of times offenses, Farm, as you know, will try and just sling one deep when they're backed up like this. Try to get that field position back in one play.
If they do, I think they might be looking at number 8. This time, fake the handoff, gets it up to Braylon Addison, who runs into Delvin Breaux, but falls forward close to first down yardage. Might be a yard short, but a good play on first down from deep in Hamilton's own end.
Yeah, that matchup with Dunbar and Delvin Breaux. I gotta believe that that's gonna come up again before this one is over. This time, Dunbar is just the decoy running past Breaux, trying to take his attention so he can't close quickly on Braylon Addison.
7th catch of the game for Addison, who's also had the 21-yard run to go along with it. Don Jackson lining up in the backfield next to Dane Evans. On 2nd and 1, they give it to Jackson, who picks up the first down.
I guarantee you every tailback in the game, when they see a quarterback on 2nd and 1 and 3rd and 1 try a sneak, they go, would you please give me the rock and short yardage? I will get you the first down. That's what they do for a living. And they think it's short yardage because the defense is right on the line of scrimmage like everybody. You need one little crease and a tailback will take it. The downside is you're giving the ball to a tailback 5 yards off the line of scrimmage.
Well, remember the song 3rd and 1 from the gun? We didn't like that.
Yeah.
2nd and 1 from the gun's okay.
Exactly.
Evans drops back on first down, looks to Addison coming out of the backfield, makes a couple miss. Bro finally brings him down, but not before a gain of 15, maybe 16, out near the 40-yard line.
Yeah, clearly Braylon Addison is a big part of the game plan coming in for Tommy Condell. We've seen him get the ball in a lot of different ways. This is just sneaking out as a screen. It's just a called screen because you see 3 offensive linemen out in front.
Slowly climbing up into double figures, 8 catches now for Braylon Addison. BC showing some pressure. Evans gets it out quick. This time it's Tim White, tripped up by TJ Lee, gain of about 9. Hamilton doing a great job regaining field position after starting this drive on their own 10-yard line. They'd love nothing better here than a 100-yard drive that takes up a lot of time.
See, when you have Addison this involved for it, sometimes you can play him as a decoy.
Short yardage team is in. Good enough for the first down. Evans with the sneak there.
Gets it to the Hamilton 51-yard line, first down.
A lot to like about what Dane Evans has managed to do. They just haven't been able to finish in the red zone for the most part. Quick pitch to Sean Thomas Erlington, gets the edge, another 9-yard gain. Hamilton on this drive is doing very well on first down.
Well, they can do 2 things now. They can drive down and try and finish this drive and go ahead on the scoreboard, but how much time can they take off the clock? And that's why these Braylon Addison runs, Don Jackson getting involved, that little screen, they're running their offense, working the clock, trying to finish the drive. Some work to do, though. Sorry.
3 9-yard gains on first down so far in this drive. BC again showing some pressure. Jackson with the handoff. Gets the first down. Picks up about 3 to the BC 47.
Well, they got the balance they've needed all season long in their running game. This is the most yards they've had running the football in any game this season. 109 yards rushing so far.
Against a stout run defense, the line's ranked 3rd in opponents' rush yardage, giving up just 81 a game. Most of that came in the Winnipeg game.
Don Jackson's awful deep on this. We'll see if he gets the rock.
Pump fake by Evans, looking left to Tim White. Makes the catch out of bounds inside the 30.
What a great throw in the hole. I mean, this is Tim White. There wasn't a lot of room to fit that ball in on sort of a slow wheel route from Tim White. Calling him on the line of scrimmage, but defender on one side, 2 on the top of that route. He fit it in.
Gain of 18, perfect throw. Line showing pressure. Evans again looks like he's checking out. Purifoy comes again. The throw in behind Dunbar.
Well, Purifoy on the blitz, you mentioned it, and that's exactly what Dane Evans saw. He saw Purifoy hit the line, and he said, okay, yeah, he threw it to the wrong shoulder.
First time on this drive that Hamilton doesn't win on first down, brings up 2nd and 10. Huge play right now, the 10th play of this drive.
That ball thrown out, and Dunbar ran and curled to the inside.
Again, this drive started on Hamilton's 10-yard line, taking up a lot of clock here in the 4th quarter. Evans drops back, gets pressured, finds Dunbar. Can he get the first down? Looks like he's short, but it's close.
Why do you keep doing us like that?
Don Jackson clearly doesn't like the spot.
Yeah. Why are you doing us like that, he said. But, yeah, this is great effort by Dunbar because he turns the corner. Now he's got to get past Bro. Gets down low, gets him out of bounds, but they're going to bring it all the way across and measure this one more time. By the way, the coaches can't ask for the measurement. The officials are going to bring it over if they think it's close enough.
Well, either way, they're going to go for it here.
Yeah,
it'll be inches. So.
Yeah, absolutely. But they got to just see how much they need. And then do you go with a tailback on third down if it's short? And it looks like it is.
Third down, going to third down.
When you're this close, it's quarterback sneak.
Yeah, you have to sneak it. Only question is, do you sneak it inside or do you sneak it outside?
Yeah, and if it's a yard though, or yard and a half to 2 yards, do you go to the tailback on a third down and a yard to go? And if he gets one crease, he's gone.
Both teams with their big personnel coming in. Very good drive for Hamilton at the most important time of the game. Dane Evans squeezes forward. Didn't get much, didn't need much, should have it.
I love his look to the ref. Yeah, we got it.
Let's send it down to Blake Price.
Well, guys, there has been an ongoing saga here throughout the game of where the ball's been placed on first downs, and of course a challenged PI call as well that hasn't gone their way, prompting one or two of the Tiger Cats to get into it with fans peeling dollar bills off the pile, if you will, saying they paid regarding the referee's call. So needless to say, they'd like to get some calls down the stretcher.
Well, in the red zone right now. This is where there's been challenges. Evans with the fake, steps up into the pocket, takes off with it. Doesn't get the first down, but a nice gain on first down nonetheless. 3 minutes to go. The Ticats knocking on the door. Can they finish the drive? We'll find out. Beautiful night in Vancouver and a beautiful drive so far for the Ticats. The 13th play coming up, 90 yards so far. It's taken 6.5 minutes. You got to finish these. The handoff to Jackson, going nowhere. Wow. Matthew Betts. His biggest play of the game.
Well, there was the answer to our question. Tommy Condell felt like he should go to his tailback on 2nd and 2. And Matthew Betts said, we're going to stop the run. They just get better leverage, get down low, and Lucas Purifoy part of the play as well.
You like this decision to go for it here on 3rd and 3? Because you still got enough time to kick 2 field goals.
I might take the points.
Let's see what happens here. Scored the winning touchdown last week on 3rd down. Lions bring pressure, going to the corner. Marcus Sales knocks it away. A great defensive play by Sales.
Well, he was step for step on that corner route the whole way. That was Tim White, and Sales was in his back pocket.
Sales got beat earlier in the game for a touchdown. He makes up for it here. The Ticats come away empty. Here's a look at the 2nd down play, Suits. Don Jackson's been getting plenty of yards, but not there.
Yeah, and I don't mind the call on 2nd and 2 to go to your tailback who has had a good second half, and then this was 3rd down on the corner. Marcus Sales with the great tip and knockdown. Not over yet by a long shot.
No, 2:16 to go is plenty of time in this league. I'm curious to see how conservative BC is going to be here. Well, they're throwing on 1st down. He's got Dominic Grimes, who drops the ball.
Well, you know, Dominic Grimes, who has played so well in the Lions' last couple, has been quiet in this one. Almost like forgotten man in this second half.
BC 8 for 18 on second downs. You know, when you look at Hamilton, it sets up a lot like their last game did. They had the chance after the kick return, didn't get it, turned it over, but then they got one more chance. We'll see if history repeats itself right here. Rourke drops back. He's being pressured. Has Keon Hatcher wide open over the middle for the catch and the first down.
Well, there's your answer on whether or not the Lions will be conservative or not. They're not going to be. They're going to drop back their young quarterback and let him sling it. The first one, a great throw to Dominic Rhymes, who flat out dropped it, but not Keon Hatcher, not on that dig route. You throw it over the middle, you got a lot of people that could be lurking in there to knock that down or pick it off, but
this is their 6th first down of the half, just 6. Lawrence into the game right now for Seontae Evans, so obviously he's still feeling something from that earlier injury. This time the handoff to Butler, cuts inside. Nice fill by Kyle Wilson.
Right now, game on the line right now. One play. So this is where the guys, and this is where the Micah Johnsons, Mark Washington getting the signal out there, the defensive coordinator, where this is where the Micah Johnsons want to get the call and then say, hey, right now, game on the line. Get the stop, we give our offense one more crack at it.
Richard Leonard actually in there as well for Hamilton. Loss of 1 in the play, 2nd and 11. They converted on 2nd and 10. Minute 40 to go after Hamilton takes their timeout right there. Lots of time here for Hamilton if they can get a stop here. Rourke drops back. Going deep over the top. And it's intercepted. Tunde Adeleke with the interception at midfield. Rourke hung it up there. You thought the receiver could adjust and come back, but Adeleke, the 4th-year safety, right there.
Well, he didn't count Adeleke. It was so far away to the wide side of the field that Adeleke really didn't factor in, I don't think, to Nathan Rourke. And he throws it to the sideline exactly wanting what you just mentioned. He wants his receiver to come back. He threw it deliberately behind him so that he put the brakes on and come back. He would have beat Jamal Roll back to the ball, but he didn't count on Adeleke traveling that far from the middle of the field to get the pick.
Rourke now with his 3rd straight 2-interception game sets up Hamilton right at midfield. One more chance for the Ticats. Evans drops back to pass. Pressure coming. Hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. TJ Lee with the play.
Now, Orlando Steinauer does not have a challenge. Remember the challenge early. I'm wondering if he would want one right now on that last play. TJ Lee looked a tad early on the contact from behind. No flag.
Now that's impressive. You called out a DB.
Yeah. Hey, I just call the way I see it, man.
2nd and 10 for Hamilton. They're obviously in 3-down territory here with 1:28 to go. Purifoy showing blitz, Haladic showing blitz. They all come. Play whistle dead.
Luchez Purifoy, who's had a great second half. I mean, just outstanding. He was free off the edge when that was blown dead.
See what the whistle here is for.
Time count violation. Hamilton, number 9. We will be rolling it down to 3rd down. It'll be going to 3rd down.
Wow, that is a huge play. A loss of down at this stage of the game brings up 3rd and 10. Hamilton's got to go for it. That is a big, big penalty.
Wow, loss of down inside of 3 minutes.
When they've shown early, Evans has quite often changed plays. That time he got caught. Evans drops back. BC just sending 3. Evans looking deep. Purifoy right there. It is incomplete. BC takes over at midfield.
Yeah, you have to just be on top of every detail in the final 3 minutes, and that's just a monster mistake. Instead of 2nd and 10, it's 3rd and 10 down to 1 play, and Dane Evans in desperation goes down the middle. Fitting for the Lions defensively that number 0 was the guy in coverage, because It's been quite a second half for Luchez Purifoy.
You'd hope that he intentionally dropped that pass so they could get the ball at midfield instead of at their own 10-yard line.
Oh, yeah, DBs are on top
You're
of it.
on top of it. All right, now with 1:22 and Hamilton without a timeout, this is possibly a situation where if you're the Lions, you can get a little conservative. They've got 2 backs in the game right now.
Yeah.
Butler with the handoff, nothing doing. Jovan Santos Knox, among others, in to make the tackle.
Now they'll blow it in as soon as the ball goes down and they start the clock. No way that Coach Steinauer can stop it.
I'm telling you, if Nathan Rourke pulls the ball here, there's going to be a lot of room on the edge.
Yeah, that's a great call. I mean, it's a very good idea right now because it remains conservative. Give him the option to get outside. He can run it. He hasn't run much in the last 2 games now.
See what happens here. Katoy motions to the right. Turns around, gives it to Butler. Falls forward for a couple. It's going to give Hamilton around 25 seconds left when they get the ball back after the punt. Now, Lawrence Woods is back there. Anything can happen. Flintoff did a really good job pinning him at the 10-yard line on the previous punt.
Right, and remember, it has to get inside the 15 if it goes out of bounds, or else there's a penalty in decent field position for Dane Evans. So that's the pressure on the punter and Flintoff right now.
So they're going to wait.
But you're right, when you're talking about Lawrence Woods back there, I think I saw Rick Campbell say, make sure you get it out of bounds. Take the clock down as far as they can.
Yeah, they'll take a timeout with a second left in the play clock.
Exactly.
Hamilton has 2 deep on this one. Braylon Addison back there with Woods. Addison coming out now. Coaching staff's calling him out of the game. Oh, no, they changed their mind.
Do you call a return here, or do you go after the... Well,
if they've got 2 deep. And
they've got 2 deep, you're going for a return.
This time he kicks it to the left where Woods is. Woods fields it on the run. Good coverage by the Lions in the play. 38-yard kick, just what the doctor ordered. Hamilton with 24 seconds left has the ball at their own 20 with no timeouts. 3, maybe 4 plays.
Remember the old hook and ladder? Got the old hook and ladder in the playbook.
and you need a touchdown because they didn't take the field goal earlier.
Exactly. And so you need a huge chunk. So it's wheel routes where you get the combination post and then wheel behind it down the rail. We'll see where Condell goes here.
BC will have a lot of players deep, I'm sure. Looks like they're going to add 2 seconds to the clock, take it to 26.
And again, no timeouts for Hamilton. So if you throw it over the middle, you got to hustle.
Evans, penalty flags on the play. The quick throw to the right side to Addison, who doesn't get out of bounds. Let's see what the penalty is here.
Looks like they're against Hamilton, and Rick Campbell's declining the penalty.
Yeah, because the clock will start again.
Offside.
Exactly.
Hamilton, number 8. Penalties decline. 2nd down.
You got to be on top of it.
That was an easy call.
A little help from the fans there, maybe too.
Well, penalties, key penalties in these last 2 drives for Hamilton. Evans now looking to the right side again, has a receiver. Addison gets out of bounds. We're at 10 seconds to go.
2 plays. One more like that, and then you got to take a shot.
And hope for the pass interference. 15 yards on that play. Lions in soft coverage. Do you take 2 shots here, or do you try to just make the second one shorter?
Take the out right there, the marker, and then go deep. Got to get out, though. Got to get out.
Evans this time looks to his left.
Get out. Hustle.
He's got Butler. 3 seconds to go on his own 54, just like you called it, Suits.
Well, but Butler messed around there a little bit, shaking, and you got to get out there. Now you got a shot. Dane Evans can throw it. He can throw it the 50 yards here.
The whole two-quarterback thing probably doesn't help here at this stage.
Well, not yet, because it's early in its development, but at some point it could. A double pass, put the defensive line in a bind, but they got four to the field.
BC's got everyone deep here. Halana comes free. He's chasing Evans out of the pocket. Evans heaves it up in the air. And it is intercepted. Wow, that bounced around. Gary Peters with the interception.
This is a design play on the Hail Mary by Hamilton. They're going to get Dane Evans outside, so he gets time for his receivers to get down there. And then they bunch up, and the first guy's supposed to tip it backwards because there's a trailer. The trailer was Addison. It almost executed to perfection, but Peters cut it off at the path.
Peters with his third interception of the season. A huge play for the Lions, who escaped with a 17-12 victory. Lions improve to 4-1. Wasn't a high-scoring game, but these two teams certainly put on a show. Plenty of offense. Great play from both quarterbacks. But ultimately, it's the home team that comes up with the victory. Lucky Whitehead with over 100 yards. Nathan Rourke with another solid passing performance as his Lions again bounce back after last week's loss. SportsCenter is next.
SportsCenter alongside Lindsay Hamilton. I'm Kara Waglin, and we're going to get you started with the early Canadian Football League game on Thursday, that being the Montreal Alouettes taking on the Ottawa Red Blacks. Ottawa haven't been good.
No.
Still looking for that elusive first win of the season, but Milt Stegall feels very confident in Ottawa.
He is, and we'll play you what he exactly said on Thursday night. But yes, Montreal entering this one 1-4, Ottawa 0-5, searching for that first win of the season. And before the game, Ottawa's players wearing shirts to support Jeremiah Masoli as he misses his second game. But Ottawa still hunting down that first win. And as we mentioned, Milt Stegall, he's confident in the Red Blacks.
I said it, and I'll say it again. I'm guaranteeing they're going to win this game.
Guarantee.
I love when this happens.
Okay, Mills, opening quarter we go. Ottawa driving. Caleb Evans finds Darvin Adams for the touchdown. The winless Red Blacks take the lead. How about that for a start? Let's go third quarter now. Ottawa down 8, forced to punt. Chandler Worthy gets under the ball, but bobbles it. Worthy's third fumble of the game, recovers, but is tackled in the end zone. Now, he was initially ruled down at the 1. However, it was overturned for a safety, and that is a huge special teams play from Antoine Pruneau. Ensuing Ottawa possession, it is Evans.
As the Red Blacks space it out.
Back to Adams, and that is a big gain. Adams had 118 yards in this one, setting up this. A couple plays later, Red Blacks on the goal line. Evans keeps it himself, punches it in for the score. The Red Blacks take the lead heading into the 4. So after a Montreal touchdown put the Alouettes up 7, Trevor Harris
Harris will throw.
Finding Eugene Lewis for the score. Harris finishing with 341 yards and 2 touchdowns. So the guarantee now at risk. Although under 2.5 minutes to play. Ottawa on the Owls goal line. Evans punches it in for a second touchdown of the day. That cuts the lead to 7. So after forcing a 3-and-out, Ottawa gets the ball back in the red zone under a minute to play.
Rolls to the right, looking downfield, firing into the end zone. Oh, it's dropped.
Ooh, that is tough. Adams drops the game-tying touchdown on a night he had 9 catches for 118 yards. That is going to sting. And after the game, the Owls having a little bit of fun with Milt for that guarantee as the Red Blacks start the season 0-6.
Did you think you'd won the game when you threw it to Darvin?
Yes.
What went through your mind afterwards?
Next play.
I told him it's not one play that wins or loses a game. We dropped the ball in the end zone early in the game too, right? And missed a field goal and, you know, gave up points on defense, all that stuff. So we're all in this together, right? The win or the loss. So, you know, sometimes that'll happen to guys.
It was a good one. We needed it, and, you know, it was a CFL game to the max. You know, they've played 2 barn burners in the last 6 days or 5 days, and credit to them for coming out and fighting like they did. And you can tell that they're still playing really hard. And they're going to win some football games this year. You know that they're fighting. You can see that from last week and this week. They're getting close.
Yes, a tough loss, and with it, the Red Blacks fall to 1-17 over their last 18 games at TD Place. This is the first time since 1989 Ottawa started a season 0-6.
All right, let's get to the Ticats and Lions. Canadian quarterback Nathan Rourke has 12 touchdown passes in 4 games, so he's on pace to shatter Doug Flutie's single-season record of 48. Picking up tied at 3 in the second quarter, Lions driving. Rourke throws a strike to Javon Catoy in the end zone. 14-yard score. The Lions, they lost their last 4 meetings against Hamilton. BC led 10-6 at the break, though. Meanwhile, the Ticats coming off their first win of the season, third quarter. Tim White takes a handoff, stripped. The Lions recover near midfield, and then they're going to look to cash in on the turnover.
High snap, Rourke pulls it down, has time, steps up into the pocket, goes deep, has Lucky Whitehead, touchdown BC! Nathan Rourke to Lucky Whitehead, his first touchdown of the season.
Love the Sally. Lucky Whitehead with the 33-yard score. 17-6 Lions. Dane Evans looking to get his Ticats offense moving. He finds Seaman Dunbar Jr. That's good for his 32-yard TD. Hamilton cuts the lead to 5. 10 minutes to play in the fourth. Hamilton facing 3rd and 1. Matthew Schultz stuffed on the sneak. The Ticats turn it over on downs. So with under 3 minutes to go, still a 5-point game. Hamilton facing another 3rd down. This time, 3rd and 3. Evans looking end zone. It's broken up. Hamilton turns it over on downs again. The Lions hold on and improve to 4-1 for the first time since the 2017 season with the win. Dating back to last season, the Ticats have lost 4 straight on the road. Next step in Week 8. They're hosting the Alouettes next Thursday while the Lions visit the Riders on Friday Night Football. Let's check in now with Blake Price, who's alongside Nathan Rourke.
Hey, a win, 250 yards passing, not a bad day at the office, and yet 17 points on the board. It seemed like you were this close to having the offensive game that we thought that both sides would present going into this game.
Yeah, it just wasn't clicking for us. To be honest, the way I feel right now is I didn't feel like I played well enough to win this game. I thought our defense did a great job. Like you said, that's a high-powered offense. They got so many weapons, and they did a really good job holding the 12 points. They had those stands there at the end. I had some turnovers, missed some throws that you can't do and expect to win a football game in a professional league. So it's a bittersweet feeling right now for me.
Nice, though, that you know that defense is there these days, that you can win these kinds of games?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, I think that they really took the loss to Winnipeg to heart. They knew that wasn't them, and they really showed up big for us. That's a great defensive win right there. And offensively, we got to do a better job. It starts with me finishing drives and putting more points on the board.
A lot of meat on that Western schedule to come here for you. Is this the kind of win that you wanted to launch in, or does it put a burr to your own individual performance like you talked about?
I think at the end of the day, a win is a win, especially against a great team in Hamilton. At the end of the day, it's a win, but we got to play better if we're going to be able to come out with wins against some of those Western teams.
Thanks for this.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, the East Division has been absolutely dominated by the West. The East with a lowly 2-14 record against the Western opponents this season. The Rough Riders have surrendered both losses to the East this season. With much more, here's Kate.
Alongside David Sanchez, Matt Dunnigan, and Milt Siegel in a pair of great games to kick off week number 7. Milt, let us begin with the Montreal Alouettes and the Ottawa Red Blacks, and credit to the Owls for the victory. But on the flip side, the Red Blacks are 0-6 now, and you have to think there must be some changes coming.
Yes, and I'm not going to say what those changes need to be. I'm not going to say you need to get rid of your coach or assistant or quarterback or whatever it may be. I don't know. I'm not saying any of that. No one needs to be fired, but you have to make changes. You know, this is a business. Yes, it is a sport, but at the end of the day, it's a business. And you're in the business of trying to win games. And just like any other business, when things aren't going the way you expect them to go, changes have to be made. As I just alluded to, I don't know what those changes are. I'm not trying to get anybody fired. That's not what I'm saying. But I just know you cannot stand pat if things aren't going your way. And right now, they're 0-6. I don't care how they got there. Yes, they have been close in 5 of those 6 games. They've been right there, but they're still 0-6. So I would not be surprised if the GM/owner, whoever it may be, they're going to make some changes. Like I said, I'm not saying what those changes need to be, but changes need to be made.
Yeah, Milt, Montreal made some changes a couple weeks ago, and it finally paid off for him tonight. You know, Trevor Harris, you know, second team under Danny Machocha, second game, and Trevor Harris finds his rhythm. Boy, I think he had his best game as a Montreal Alouette. 25 of 31, 341, and 2 touchdowns, and 81% completion. And he went to his big 3. I'm talking about White Jr., Winicky, and Lewis for 14 completions, and found them on a regular basis, and enough run game to control the line of scrimmage a bit. And I was pretty amazed at the Red Blacks' inability to stop the Montreal offense. 40 points is a lot of points for Mike Benavides, that defense give up, but I was really impressed with Trevor Harris. He was on his game tonight.
When your star players, Geno Lewis, Jake Weineke, both of them under 50 yards, but your secondary guys going off. Mayala had over 100, and Reggie White, like you mentioned, and Keon Julian Grant making people miss. That gives Anthony Calvillo, new play caller, gives him confidence, gives Trevor confidence. You know those guys are going to go off. Geno and them are going to eventually go off, but to get that secondary production, I thought was key.
All right, let's go to the late game now. BC Lions, they just edged out that victory against the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and Hamilton pushed them, but BC coming up with some huge plays at the end of the game, Ches.
Yeah, it was a pretty good performance. You know BC is talented. It's official that they're a really talented team because they didn't play well at all. But they were in control. I mean, the game was close, but they had the lead the whole game. And it was a great play here from Sales, who didn't have his best game, but he made a play when it counted. You saw Betts made a play earlier. And at the end, I thought Dame was outstanding today, especially the resiliency he showed from last week coming back after getting yanked. But that was a tough penalty there and knocked him into a pretty difficult position.
Yeah, you know, you got to learn how to win ugly. And that was an ugly win for the BC Lions. And Nathan Rourke learned a tough lesson tonight, one that he can go back and learn a lot from and take away a lot of positives as well. You know, this is to start the game. You know, how about that? You know, this is 46-yarder to Whitehead. Let's do it. And then here he double pumps and he misses because he didn't want to hit the crossbar on the goalpost. To me, that says a lot. But this throw here, that's just special. You know, it's about 4.5 seconds in the pocket, moving around, sliding and throwing a 40-yard strike to Whitehead. Just, you know, a big win for the young man. And he got to win ugly sometimes, and he found out how to do that tonight.
You know my philosophy. There's no such thing as an ugly win. There's no such thing as a pretty loss. You win or you lose, and they found a way to win. And as a champion, that's what you have to do. It's not going to be every single game where Nathan Rourke is going to go out there and dominate. You win as a team. You're going to need other facets, other players on your team to step up, and that's what happens. And when you have Nathan Rourke as your quarterback, of course it makes it easier because most of the time he does, but when he doesn't, other players, other facets of the game have to step up.
All right, 2 great games to start Week 7. We'll see what the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and Edmonton Elks have in store on Friday night.
All right, speaking of that game, we got 2 more on our slate. FanDuel has the undefeated Blue Bombers as 7.5-point favorites on Friday Night Football. That one goes at 9 Eastern time. And then on Sunday, the Argos and the Rough Riders, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific.